Hi. Okay, so we are going to do another recreational activity, which is called the Web of Deception. This activity is out of our Spidey Sense booklet that talks a lot about grooming and grooming prevention for your kiddos, teenagers. And this is an activity actually that we do with participants, and I'm going to walk you through it. So all you really need is just a pen and a piece of paper. And so what you're going to do is you're going to draw a spider web. And how I draw, so you can draw a spider web any way you want. I'm just going to draw my spider web. Have all my lines. I'm going to connect my lines. Hope you're drawing your spider web. Doesn't have to look perfect. It is just going to be a tool, and you'll see why this is just for your notes and your personal growth. Maybe you are a parent that is helping your child become more aware of their self-growth or self-awareness. Maybe you are a parent that or a person that has experienced grooming, and this is a great activity to help you. So there's my spider web, kind of, whatever. So what I'm going to put at the top is Web of Deception. Okay, now, like I said, okay, so I kind of was mumbling there. I, of course, have had experiences of grooming. Anybody who has had experiences with childhood incest, you have been groomed. The access that people have to us and the relationships that they build in order to gain more access to sexually abusing a person and or a different type of abuse is the process of being groomed. And so the activity that we're doing is to help you understand a little bit more on that access. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions, and you are going to, well, first of all, let's start with this. So this activity, okay, you're going to think about your abuser. Maybe you know your abuser, maybe you don't know your abuser. I've had 4 different abusers in my lifetime, so I'm just going to pick one. And I'm going to focus on that one person. I'm going to put my visual descriptions of him, my experiences with him. I'm just going to let that filter through my brain. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his name in the corner, just so I know who I'm focusing on. Okay, so with that being said, you're just going to start filling in your web. You can write on the lines of your web. You can write in them. You're just going to start writing around. There's no real rhyme or reason to where you're going to place them yet. You're just going to write. It's just a free, kind of fragmented memories that are going to come up. And you're just going to think about things to write down, and we'll give you a little bit of time to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my things, and I'm going to say them out loud so you can kind of see what process I'm going through. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to write grooming experience on here just so I can focus. So I had a relationship with this person. He was an elder. I'm going to put patriarch type. That was his access. His characters were swooning characters. He bought me a lot of gold, so gifts. Gold, expensive dresses. He took me on a date. He was very physical. always hugging and kissing, long durations of hugs. And as you're going through this, because this is, you know, you're bringing up triggers and memories and such, and wherever you are, if you are a survivor, wherever you are in your healing journey, if you need to take a break, please take a break, get a glass of water. Don't forget to communicate with your care team to let them know you're doing an activity, and you might just need to check in. Okay. So let's see, I'm going to continue. What else? There's a lot. Sometimes it helps when I like look at the name again, and then I'm like, oh, okay. He really swooned my parents. He catered to them with gifts, trips. He was very persistent, his personality. He was a very confident person, but he did lie a lot, embellish. So I'm just like thinking of like characteristics that I remember of him, things that I've heard, you know, other people say about him too, like his body, his movement, but like things that he said, and other people's interpretations are really helpful as well. Let's see. There were a lot of affirmations, like you're so pretty, like to the point of like an exaggerated affirmations, compliments. Okay, so you kind of get the point of the activity. Okay, so I have my web that is filled. Of course, this is going to look different to you. Anything that you can really remember, you might want to take a break and then come back, and you might, you know, think of other things like, oh, I really didn't like it when he did this, or oh, he always wanted us to have our bathing suits so that we could go swimming. Always suggested sleepovers. Wanted. Okay, so this so then what we'll do is, so after you've kind of done that, and you'll have a snack and come back and maybe write some things. So what you're going to do after that is you're going to get your journal, and you're going to write all these things down. Just list them, okay? And list them under the description of your abuser. And that will be the start of your reflection. So this is a really good reflection activity to help you understand that, you know, there's that boundary between your shame and his shame, and all the things that were used to groom you to have access to you for that abuse. And this can really be an eye-opener for victims and survivors that are really need to see that indifference, that tangible divided relationship, and how a groomer can really take a relationship and abuse it. Because it can be really hard to see and really confusing that, well, I had this relationship with him, and he was supposed to be a respected caregiver to you as a child, and because he wasn't, it's really confusing, and it can get really frustrating on building those relationships further in life, because it really breaks that trust. So this is a really great activity. I hope that you enjoyed that. So with that being said, okay, so from the booklet, Spidey Sense for the Grooming Awareness, that was a really great activity for survivors and maybe parents learning how to identify people that might want access to your kiddo, whether they're a friend, a neighbor, a family member. Sometimes we get that feeling we're just like, ooh, they're just a little too close, but we don't know why. And it's okay to put up boundaries without being disrespectful or hurting someone's feelings. And if you're hurting someone's feelings, then that's probably a red flag. So another activity for parents that I like to do is right behind me. This is also our web of deception. And what I do is, this is an activity that I have parents do with their kids. And I did this with my kids, and it has just really made this, the Spidey Sense booklet that much more applicable. So, of course, I have 3 daughters and 2 sons. And so what I would do is, you could do this a couple different ways, which I do. We're going to use, so this is a Velcro, it's a felt background with Velcro web on it. And I have Velcro balls. Sometimes I use stickers, insect stickers, things that would typically get stuck in a web. And I'll write prompts on them, words, names, that kind of thing, of people that they know. And I've also done it with insects, like little plastic novelty insects, and put Velcro on them, and they also get to throw that on the wall. So this activity is to, it's a tangible, visible activity for kids to see how easy it is for them to get caught up in a web of deception. So with that being said, these are Velcro balls, and I'm going to read some prompts, and every time your teenager has experienced this, heard this said from someone that they know, they're going to throw a ball on the web. Okay, so let me buy you something nice or expensive. And I recommend you throw it underhand, just because you throw it overhand, the pressure will make it ricochet off. So, and you want it to stick. So I just fix my carpet. Okay, so I'm gonna throw it, and it gets stuck. Okay, next prompt. Think of has anybody in your social circles, family circles, have a pet name for you, a nickname for you? Baby, cutie, pretty, whatever the nickname is. Okay, and they don't necessarily have to answer the questions with you right now. Right now, they're just throwing the ball, and you're gonna want to participate as well. So you're maybe saying the prompts, but you're both throwing a ball on the web. Okay. Next one, frequent. Somebody that you have somebody in your life that frequently sends you messages, like constantly. For example, my mom constantly messages me, but that's like a normal, healthy relationship, right? Okay, so think of like maybe a peer or a neighbor or a cousin or an aunt, somebody in the external circle and not the immediate circle that is constantly texting you, messaging you, calling you, checking in on you, that's a little bit outside of that first immediate circle. Okay. And I love these because they stick to the felt and the Velcro no matter where they hit. Okay, next one. Anybody in your circles that has play touch games, tickling, poking, picking you up, turning you around, long durations of hugs. Age indifference. So is there anybody in your circles that you feel really close to, but there's a big age gap? Maybe you're 15 and they're 17 or 18. So an age gap of more than like 2 years or more. Okay. Mention of a date, invitation to do something alone with that person. Is there someone in your life making excuses and to see you, finding excuses to see you, to connect? We should do this, and it's a little excessive. Is there anybody in your life that you feel just seems like they embellish information? Like everything is a little bit more dramatic, or they're a little bit more needy with you than with anybody else. Maybe they maybe they confide in you a little bit more. Okay. Okay, think of somebody in your life that is super confident. Maybe super confident in your relationship. You know that they like you and it's okay even though you may not like them. Anybody that's really super confident in having you around them. Okay. Okay. So, with those prompts being said, and this could be extended, the list could be extended to maybe things that you have seen in your teenagers' social circles. So when your children are growing, they're on their phones, they're becoming teenagers, they might be a preteen, a teen, and a young adult. You start to see a lot of the different ways that their peers will connect with them. A lot of gift giving, a lot of praising, and some dramatic, reactions to situations. One minute they're friends, one minute they're not friends. There's just so much that goes on that you start to see like, oh, there's patterns with this friend or there's patterns with this peer. And so this is a great way for you to be able to help your teenager see like, look how many times you may have been manipulated. And we don't want to draw them into this like, oh my gosh, look at me, I'm being manipulated, and now I have a cause for being a victim. We don't want our kids to be victims. So this is for them to become more aware when they have these experiences. What are things they could say? What are things they could do? Things to be aware of is like, maybe somebody bought you a gift because it was your birthday. Great. If they're gift giving all the time, we need to reevaluate that, because we want to know the intention behind it. And it's not just, well, they're really good friends and they really like me. There's always an intention behind a gift. And so if they're not aware of it and your child is not aware of it, it can become unsafe. So all of these things are really important to be aware of. And with the activity that I did with one of my daughters, we did this a couple different ways, a couple different times. And she started to realize that there was one person that was doing all of these things. So obviously this was based off of something that I observed and kind of put together to help her. Instead of just me telling her and being concerned, I wanted her to become more aware of it so that she could empower herself. And so then after we became aware of that, maybe that person that was just not a good fit, we started working on ways for her to set boundaries and not to become alarmed that anybody's, trying to sexually abuse her or groom her in an inappropriate way. It was an awareness activity for her to be aware of how easy it is to fall into a manipulative situation, even when someone doesn't really consciously have an intention like that. And then talking about it with that person, became more aware that he was really interested in her, and he realized that he needed to back off a little bit because that just wasn't where the relationship was going. So I hope that was a good activity for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want the whole Spidey Sense booklet, parent for grooming awareness, let me know and I will send it to you. We are trying to upload it to the website, but all of our uploading links are just not liking us right now. So just let me know if you want a copy. It's a free copy and we love to share all of our things. So I hope you had a great time, and don't forget to process, play, and have a great day.